Well, hello there. Welcome to Hanging with the Hags. Well, Vicki and I are in Andrews, South Carolina. We're at a Harvest Host, AK Coffee. Their motto is every day's a good day with an AK. Pretty funny. So the story behind the Harvest Host is Abe and Candy with a K, therefore that's how we get AK. Abe and Candy, they migrated down here from outside the Boise, Idaho area, and they had a big motorhome. They were traveling across the country visiting different areas. They were on the road for about a year and wound up here in Andrews, South Carolina. Had a calling from God, and lo and behold, they own AK Coffee, this coffee shop here. It's right off of Main Street in Andrews. He had this mural put up about, I think he said last Friday. So Charlie Kirk, obviously, and just wanted to commemorate his life a little bit and his movement and what he was doing with Turning Point USA, and felt compelled to paint that, get that mural painted up on the side of his coffee shop. So this is a traditional Harvest Host here. They have essentially two spots. So we're in one. There's another one right here. Definitely big rig friendly, flat RV spots, no hookups or nothing, just boondocking. So Andrews is kind of southeast a little bit in South Carolina. Charleston is further south, pretty much straight west of Georgetown. And so yesterday we spent the day hanging out in Georgetown. Probably one of the nicest communities thus far that we've seen in South Carolina. The community of Georgetown, it's on a bay, so not on the ocean, but on a bay. But they're doing, the downtown is just the coolest little downtown. And we kind of thought Conway was pretty nice too. But I felt that Conway's a little bit bigger, probably 2/3 bigger than Georgetown. But I also felt like Conway in the downtown area really didn't have a lot of restaurants or shops or bars. I mean, most of their buildings were full of businesses, but it just didn't seem like there was a lot going on there. Now, they did have the Riverwalk, was pretty cool, where in retrospect, Georgetown's smaller town, but their downtown Front Street is a lot smaller, but they have packed a lot of stuff into that Front Street. There was nice restaurants, lots of bars right along this Riverwalk, or Baywalk, I guess, this boardwalk that they had. So just a really, really nice area. And so, I don't know, we've traveled around, we're staying off the East Coast side by and large, kind of doing some of these towns in the middle. So we started up north in Loris, again, really small town. Nichols, even smaller town. We stayed up at Oritz Landing, up with Steve on his property for 5 nights up there. We went to Marion and Mullins, which it's still considered low country. Everything I'm finding out is everything on the east side of the state is really low country, but there are some places that are a little lower as you get towards the Waccamaw River or the Great PD River. But Mullins, very small town. Marion, however, quite a bit bigger town. It had the traditional one main street through town, but most of the shops were filled with businesses. We talked to a really nice lady that owned the bookstore there, and then there was like an emporium store that was a little bit of everything, antiques from new stuff, food to clothing. I mean, it had everything in there. 3 stories. It was a hotel back in the early 1800s or something, but everybody seemed to be super nice in Marion. Now that's further inland, it's further away from the beach. Had quite a few nice homes for sale in and around that downtown Marion area, but we're also finding out that every town in the south has an other side of the town, and so and people are not ashamed to tell you, yeah, don't go to that side of town, or don't go to this side of town, or be careful if you're going there. So I don't know, that's a little concerning, I guess. I didn't really feel that out on closer to the east side, so I don't know. And then we ended up doing a little bit of a beach day yesterday, which was super nice. So we did Georgetown, and then Georgetown's about probably 15 minutes to the closest beach would be Pawleys Island, which is also known as kind of South Myrtle Beach. Yeah, Pawleys Island is really the furthest area south, and then you start getting into Charleston. But yeah, did a little bit of a beach day. It was probably, I don't know, low 70s, light breeze. We did some shelling. And then today, I mean, the sun is out. It's supposed to be 80 degrees today. I think it's like the 19th of November. It's gonna hit 80. Today's travel day though, so we've been here 2 nights. We're hooking up. We're gonna go to Sumter, which is a little bit north and west of here. Sumter, they have a Shaw Air Force Base is there, so we're gonna stay on Shaw Air Force Base for the next 10 days and kind of check out a little bit more interior of South Carolina. One of our original ideas was if we could stay east of I-95, which runs north-south all the way from Maine all the way to Florida. If we could kind of stay east of I-95, that would put us kind of close to the beach that we want to be, but not on the beach. And so being in Sumter for 10 days will be nice. We can catch up on some laundry because we haven't done that in a while. Be on a military base, use the access that we have there, which will be nice. I think this one we're paying $25 a night, so you can't beat $25 a night for full hookups on a military base with the gym and everything that comes with it. So that'll be super nice to kind of refresh, get everything sorted out before, I think after that we're heading down to kind of the Charleston area for a couple of nights, and then we slowly start making our way down to Florida, and we got a bunch of family coming down to visit us in Key West, which is super exciting. So we got to get down there and get things situated. We'll be down there for a full month. But meanwhile, we're here in South Carolina checking out some of these smaller communities. We've done a bunch of home drive-bys. Still don't know what we want. We've seen a couple of really nice old kind of Victorian style homes, turn of the century or even before. I mean, when you talk old homes in Washington, it's like the, early 1900s, late 1800s. Here, you talk old homes here, we're talking like early 1800s. So it's like 100 years older on a lot of these homes. And so trying to figure out, like, it would be cool to have one of those old homes, but those come with potential problems. Termites down here is a big thing. Lots of termite infestation, especially on some old homes. The property that we stayed at Oritz Landing, he built a barn dough. They still do a bunch of traveling, so he's just got a cement slab, a metal barn dough, and that suits his lifestyle. So we've thought about that too, maybe buying some property on the outskirts of town. Who knows? We don't know what we're doing. And we're in no hurry. We got our home on wheels that we're just having a great time in, enjoying the traveling and the visiting and the meeting of people along the way. It's been really, really fun. So many great people out here in some of these communities. and just being able to talk to them. And funny, we were at a farmer's market of all things, farmer's market in Conway. Of course, it was Saturday, so I'm wearing my Cougs shirt, right? You never know who's gonna give you a go Cougs. So I'm wearing my Cougs shirt and I'm going down this market, and this vendor was talking with a guy, and he pretty much said, okay, well, I gotta let you go. And then that guy left, and he came right up and was like, he's like, a lot of people aren't gonna know what that shirt means, but I do. And so we started chatting. We probably chatted for 15 or 20 minutes. He actually was born in Colfax, which, if you don't know, Colfax is probably 15 minutes from Pullman, which is where Washington State University is, home of the Cougars. And so we chatted with him. He was born in Colfax, was raised there, graduated high school. I think did some time in the Marine Corps, and then got out of the Marines. He was here in South Carolina and just stayed. And so talking with him was really kind of fun, right? Here's a guy kind of like talking with Abe and Candy, right? From Boise, Idaho, which, I mean, if it wasn't so cold up there, great place to live. But talking with this guy, right, born and raised in Colfax, Eastern Washington, and, you know, he's been, you know, did his time serving, and then now he's down here in South Carolina, and there's a lot of things that he misses about the Northwest, being up there. Salmon fishing, for one. I guess they don't have salmon down here at all. And then fishing in general. He said that, yeah, he just, once he got out of the Marine Corps, he just kind of just didn't fish, where up there he was going to the river very often and fishing, whether it was salmon or steelhead or whatever. But never really got into that, never really got into hunting at all. And then, you know, the seasons too. He says, thinking back on his childhood, on those cold days, and then looking forward to spring coming and the rains, and then, you know, the hot summers. Where here, I mean, it's mid-November. It's gonna be in the 80s today. So I don't know, but it's always nice to talk to people and get their perspective on things, especially in these communities that we're thinking about staying in or possibly buying a home in. So anyways, that's about it for now. I know it's been a while. We haven't done a lot of updates recently, but we're still alive and kicking. RV's doing great. We got our coffee. We got a short drive today, maybe only an hour and a half to Sumter. And we'll hope to see you out on the road. So thanks for watching. Share, like, and subscribe, of course, if you would do that so kindly. And yabba dabba doo, we'll be at a campsite near you.